Okay. Well, the air hose is plugged in. Okay. I wasn't going to talk about this today, but got a comment from our friend Jason in the UK, and he was mentioning how something I can't remember exactly how his wording, but that caloric intake will affect your energy or something to that effect. And I was thinking, yeah, that's right. I've been kind of starving myself for the last few days, and maybe that affected my energy yesterday. Anyway, what happened last night was, or yesterday afternoon, was I well, first of all, I pigged out a little bit, and I got myself up over 1,000 calories, but then I thought, well, I've already been this bad, I may as well have a piece of my granddaughter's pumpkin bread. Or not granddaughter, but daughter-in-law. And so I do know the difference. I had one slice. Well, I ended up eating all the rest that I had left in the freezer. I just thawed them out one after the other, and next thing I knew, all 7 pieces that were left were gone. Now, I don't know the exact calorie count in it because I didn't bake it myself, so I didn't measure the ingredients. The only thing I can remember is that when my son brought it over, he says that it was, she made it low calorie or something. So I'm just estimating 1,000 calories for that. I like to be precise. But hey, when you've fallen, this badly off the wagon, what's the difference if it's 700 or 1,000 or 1,200? Well, it doesn't make much difference. But today's another day. I am feeling a little bit more energetic after having over 2,000 calories yesterday. But that means that today I'm on just strictly black coffee. No milk in my early morning coffee, just black, and we're going to try and be good today. We're also going to try and get a little bit of spraying done here. I have a tendency to want to just talk when I have to spray because it's a lot easier to just sit here and talk. Anyway, I'm going to get myself lined up in the next few minutes. I do want to make a jig for the barrels. I've got an idea, and I know Mark in Australia suggested just plug them all in something, in a block of wood or something, and just spray them all at once. Well, I want to try my idea. Anyway, I'm just going to get going at that. I'll probably be back in an hour or two after I'm all set up here. But at least we got the air hose plugged in. Okay, we may have a little bit of a problem here. No, we're not out of paint. Got lots of paint. But when I was reaching over to get my paint here a minute ago, well, actually more like about 10 minutes ago, I see this little test tube and I instantly remember, oh yes. Do you remember way back in steps, I think it's even on step 70, we had to put little tiny, what I think are possibly antennas, on the top of each one of these turrets. There's 2 that goes on each one. It seems to me that we even did a little bit of an experiment and drilled a tiny hole in one of the little dimples here, where the, now what do we do? Now, this was not planned. I know people are going to think, oh, sure, Ron, you're trying to get out of painting. Well, I really was going to go and paint, but now I realized that, I think we should try and put these on. I remember talking at the time about let's leave them to the last, just before we paint, because I'll probably bend them over as I'm handling the turret when I'm putting other detail on, and I probably would have. All right, let's it's a bit of a painting setback, you might say. Those of you who wanted to watch painting today, you might be disappointed. Sorry about that. Okay, I will put the macro lens on in a moment here. But remember, we discovered that there was a little dimple in this little part here. I'm thinking I may not have to drill. I'm thinking if I can just very, very carefully now move my arm away here so that I don't knock anything over. Now I think I've more or less got it here. It may not be perfectly straight, but I think after it's glued in place. And then, what did I do with Tennessee Jim's applicator? Ah, here it is. Okay. Now, I'm thinking that if we put a little bit of CA just right there. Now maybe what I should have done is put the CA in the dimple and then dropped that post or whatever it is, or antenna, into the hole. I don't know, I'm kind of undecided here. You know, we haven't used this thing for about 48 hours, so I wonder if it still works. Let's try it out. Now at that moment I had not used it, and I actually did not know if it was going to work. Well, I'm pressing pretty hard on the plunger right now, and it appears to me that it has cured somewhere. Now, I'm thinking that it could possibly be that this is all inside there. That's maybe solid now, I don't know. I don't think this little bubble that we're seeing out here on the end has anything to do with it. Somewhere. Yeah, I'm pressing really hard. Let's put on the macro lens and drill a little tiny hole in this and see if it's liquid just right under there where I'm touching with Mr. T's pointer. Yeah. Okay, you can see I'm doing this over top of our plastic paint sheet here, so if all of a sudden things get out of hand. But I'm squeezing really hard on the end of the plunger there. And okay, here we go. Let's just make a little pilot hole. All right, and we're going to be using the Tamiya electric drill here. And the bit we're using is a 24 thousandths of an inch. I just measured it a few minutes ago. Now, if I can get that on there, it should not slip out. Okay, we got a hole right through now. I mean, the CA should be squirting out of there. Let's how does that look? Does it look like there's any liquid on the end of that bit there? You can see it better than I can right now. You've heard that before, haven't you? Let's go a little deeper here. Whoops. I did remember to press record, didn't I? How come I can't get it back in the hole? Well, we're definitely in there now. Okay, yeah, I guess it cured inside there. Now, I didn't think it would have done that, but I guess there was maybe too much air or contamination or something. Now, we do have 18 more of these. Or is it 19 more? I can't remember. And anyway, yeah, I think the idea is good. I don't know what to say here. I'm pressing really hard now. I mean, I'm hurting my fingers. Now, be honest. Isn't this a lot more fun than painting? Okay, I'm trying to hold this at the right spot for you. All right, we drilled the hole right in this area right here. Now, I think that right there, just where my finger's pointing, that's where it has hardened. In fact, if I turn it, if the light refracts just right, you can sort of see it's sort of got a solid looking look to it. However, if you'll notice out here, there I was going to say there's a little bubble, but it's not really a bubble. There's some CA there. Now, when I squeeze right here, that moves. Okay, you can see it moving. Well, worked a minute ago. Okay, now yeah, all right, you can see it moving there. So that means that right here it's liquid, and yeah, so it must have had something to do with the rubber reacting to the CA glue. I think this black part is some kind of rubber. Okay, I think we beat this to death, haven't we? Let's replace this thing. We can do one of two things at this point. We can either replace everything, and or I can try and salvage this part here, because it does seem to be still okay. However, being as that we've got a whole bunch of these, no use risking having this just about ready to cure. So I'm just going to go ahead and put on a new one. Yeah, I'm kind of humming and hawing here because I'm not sure about what I'm going to do. But I'm just going to go ahead and do this. We already did this one 2 or 3 days ago, so you know what's going to happen here. Okay, we are back to where we were, 2 hours ago? And I've got my new applicator set up here. Now the plan is to try and put a tiny little bit of CA in that dimple. And whoops. I'm touching my tweezer. Maybe I should move it out of the way. Well, that was the best I could do, folks. I can imagine that right about now there's a ton of viewers watching this and they're thinking to themselves, well, if that was his best, I don't think I could bear to watch his worst. Now, can I grab hold of this without damaging anything? I gotta just move this and drop that in the hole. Now, I believe that's in place. It might not be. Just let me look at the monitor. Yeah, more or less got it. Now, this is the curing agent applicator. And it's working fine. Just let a little bit wick down the post or whatever that is there. Now, if anything's happening, you should be able to see it. Okay, now we may have a problem here because I may have glued. See if I can. Is this going to come off now, or is the whole thing going to just pop off? You know what's happened? Oh, for goodness sakes. You know what? Maybe we don't need these little things. No one's going to see them anyway. Ah, so frustrating. You know, I am just not good with a really small photo etch. I don't know how it is people that are building 1/700 scale models and they get the Pontos. Didn't Peter? Didn't you do a 700 scale with a bunch of? Yeah, I think I remember watching you do it. I don't know how you did it. Okay. I'm not going to give up on this. If you remember a week or so ago, we found that if we drilled holes in that and then sort of dropped the post down in the post hole, it kind of worked. I'm just going to sort of work at that, but I think I've about had it for today. I want to do something different. I want to go out and put some suet out at the bird feeder. I was noticing that the neighbor's tree, not the big tree, but the sort of the bush on the other side that you sort of see when we do the sunrise, it was loaded with birds. Well, there was 6 or 7 anyway. And I was thinking, well, you know, the birds are around. So I'm going to put some suet out, and I'll show it to you. But it's going to be in tomorrow's rollback, because I got to take a break from this. You know, how could one little piece wear me out? Thanks for watching, everybody. And all being well, we'll see you tomorrow.